This video is primarily intended to be an apology to Fitchyful Thinking. Now, for everyone to understand this apology, you need some background history on this. I've actually pwned Fitchyful Thinking for exactly what I'm about to apologize for. I've called him out for it, and I have done it myself. And I'd really appreciate it if people would, in the future, if I ever do this again, just please take this video, take, the URL, and just post it in a comment to me, and let me know that I've done the same thing again, if I ever do it again. I will be trying to be on guard for it, but it sucks to realize what I've done, and it's so wrong. Now, in the past, Fitchyful Thinking attempted to define atheism for atheists, and say that people weren't atheists if they believed a certain thing, and that atheists necessarily believed a certain thing. And I had pwned him on that. And this is months ago. Months ago. And then, just last night, in the comments section of one of his videos, I wrote that if he doesn't believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for his sins and for everyone else's sins, that he is not a Christian. Now, I did at the time believe that is a pretty much fundamental principle to Christianity, but I'd like to retract that statement, because after getting to know Fitch, I know that there are many, many concepts in the Bible that he will not agree to at all. And that's what's been frustrating with him. When I say theological whack-a-mole, I try to get him to admit that churches necessarily teach that sin exists, or that Jesus died on the cross for your sins. And when I make those statements, he will back away from them. He'll say, no, we don't teach those. And, if I put out the concept of sin, he will argue, well, I don't believe in a universal sin. And if I ask him what he does believe, he will just say, well, there's a whole bunch of possibilities. And he will never choose one of those possibilities, which is very, very frustrating. He'll never say which one he actually does believe. He might say, well, I'm still studying. But, if he were to ever land on any one of them, I've got an argument for any one of them. But he never lands on one. And that is not me attempting to strawman him when I make an argument against original sin. I actually do these videos for more than one person, and when 90% of Christians out there will be teaching original sin, and the other 10% all have different ideas about sin, I do go for the majority many times. And also, it's the literalist translation, and that's part of this apology, because I just want to say to everyone right now, it's okay for Fitchyful Thinking to not believe anything in this book. Previously, he has said that the story of Adam is metaphorical, and that there's not really factual stuff from it. It's just a fable. Previously, he said that stories in the Bible were just Hebrews trying to use fables as social control. He has said these things in his videos, and basically, I've said to him, if you can take little chunks of the Bible and call them metaphors, or just say that they're fables, why not the resurrection of Christ? And you know what? He doesn't have to believe in Jesus dying on the cross and then resurrecting to be a Christian. If he wants to say that he is a Christian, we have to give him that. We have to. I mean, he can just say that he believes in a version of Jesus that no one else on the planet believes in, but this version exists in his head and is loosely based on the stories that are in the Bible. But all the stories in the Bible are bullshit. He can distance himself from every teaching that has ever come out of the Bible and just say, my Jesus only said love other people. He can do that. And he can be a Christian. All the while running away from anything that you find in this Bible. And, I turn to the literalist interpretations of the Bible because I find a problem myself with running away from what the Bible actually says. But there's many Christians out there who disagree with parts of the Bible. And they just basically invent their own form of Christianity. And it's okay for those people to be Christians. Whatever you self-identify as, people need to recognize you for that. It's I'm sorry, Fitch, for saying that if you fall into a category of people who don't believe that Jesus died on the cross for people's sins, that you're not a Christian. That's wrong. It's wrong. I mean, and also the flip side of this apology is another apology to T-Master 1978. In a phone conversation in one of my videos, I assumed that he was a Christian, and when I asked him, "You're a Christian, right?" he said, "No." He said he is a servant and follower of Jesus Christ. And if he doesn't want to be labeled as a Christian, even though he follows a lot of what is inside this Holy Bible book, which would, lead one to conclude that he might be Christian-like, it's okay for him to cast off the label of Christianity. Anne Rice, the author of the Interview with a Vampire series, did the same thing. She was tired of what Christians were doing in the name of Christ, so she decided to follow Christ in her own way. And, yeah, that's okay. If he doesn't want to be a Christian, but wants to follow the good parts of this book and not follow what he sees as people twisting and distorting the meaning of the Bible, that's okay. If he wants to be called a servant and follower of Jesus Christ, we have to give him that. Furthermore, I realize that sometimes I have frustration issues, and I apologize for them. I got frustrated because I really don't like the position that Fitchyfulthinking takes by not committing to a definition of Christianity. Because it's very hard to have any sort of argument when you don't know the terms of the argument. And I really did not mean to straw man him. It seems like, to borrow an analogy from mixed martial arts, he likes to fight from his back. he likes to pull guard. Anybody who doesn't understand what I'm saying, just look up rubber guard MMA, and you'll see that there are fighters who like to grab onto someone's body or head and then fall back onto their back and let the other person be the mounted person fighting from the top, because they believe that their defenses and their ability to mount an offense from their back is more powerful than the other person's ability to ground and pound on them. And that's what I see as what Fitch is doing. And it's very, very frustrating. And any mixed martial artist fan will tell you that someone who likes to intentionally take the fight to the ground and lay and pray. It's quite a appropriate analogy in MMA. Lay and pray. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch for people who are outside of a fight, and it's frustrating for the people in it, I guess. So, to recap, here we go. I'm an atheist because I said I'm an atheist. Fitchyfulthinking is a Christian because he said he's a Christian. T-Master is a servant and follower of Jesus Christ because he said that he is a servant and follower of Jesus Christ. And Inventor Gorilla is de-evolved. Is that a thing? I don't